Hello people, welcome back to my channel Study with Nandu, and this is another lecture on the subject of human resource management. So in today's session we will be discussing about job analysis. Okay, so job analysis is very important in human resource management, and in this video we will be discussing about its definition, its uses and its process. Now let us understand the definition of job analysis. Okay, job analysis is the process of studying and collecting information about the job, its duties, tasks, responsibilities, skills, and work environment. It helps to understand what is the job involves and what kind of person is best suited to perform the job. See, we all know what the job is, right? It's our work. And it is very important for every individual because it represents our standard of living, right? It is also important for organizations because to achieve organization objectives, they need to provide jobs. Yes, as it is so much important, job should be properly analyzed or you need to properly examine it. So what you need to examine? Just the question arises here, what you need to examine? Its task, its duties and its responsibilities, right? What's the difference between task, duties, and responsibilities? Yes. What's the difference between duties, task, and responsibilities? Let me explain. Task means it's one small action you perform. Okay. What's the task? It's a small action you perform. Duties means a set of actions. Okay. Please ignore my writing. A set of actions. Responsibility means what you are answerable for. Got it? Yes. Now, example. Imagine you are a school teacher. Okay, so imagine you are a school teacher. Here, task is preparing lesson plans, checking homeworks, and teaching a class, right? This is your task. Duty means teaching your subject properly to students. It's your duty, right? Right? Responsibility means ensuring your students actually understand and perform well. Okay, so job analysis is like taking a deep look at a job, right? We find out what tasks are involved, what skills are needed, and what responsibilities the employee will have. Yes, imagine you are a HR of the company, okay, and you are hiring for a receptionist job. Yes, you are the HR of the company and you are hiring for whom? Receptionist job. Okay, you are hiring for receptionist job. So before recruiting you must know what exactly the receptionist will do. That means what receptionist task would be and her duties, responsibilities like answering calls, greeting visitors and solving visitor queries, etc. Yeah, right. You also need to know what qualities they should have like communication skills, polite behavior and computer knowledge, right? The entire study, yes, this entire study is known as job analysis. This entire study is called as job analysis. Hope you understand. Next is job uses of job analysis. Okay, what it is? Uses of job analysis. First is human resource planning, recruitment and selection, training and development, performance appraisal, job evaluation, job design, and safety and health. First is human resource planning. Okay, so what's the first one? It's human resource planning. So human resource planning helps to provide data about number of employees required to hire in the future. Okay, and also to have the right number of people with the right skill at the right time. So to perform that, HR must know what job exists in the organization. That means what skills, duties, responsibilities should require to perform that job. So HR can perform human resource planning only when he can understand the job analysis first. So if he doesn't understand the job analysis, HR cannot plan for future manpower. So he may not be fulfilled to have right people at the right job. Hope you understand about this human resource planning. So next is we have recruitment and selection, right? So if the job analysis is done properly, we can prepare a proper job descriptions. Okay, means what actually the job is, and also job specification means what kind of person is suitable for that job. So we will be discussing about job description and job specification clearly in the next video. Now this helps HR selects the right person for the right job. Okay, example, let me take the same example of receptionist job. So if the job analysis shows that a receptionist need a good communication skills, HR will focus on checking the good communication, right, while the interview is happening, and he can take the decision. Got it? Next is training and development. What is the third one? Training and development. See, do you think every employee where HR hired is already aware of everything about the tasks, duties, and responsibilities? Of course not, right? That's why training is important. But how does HR know what kind of training does each employee needs? That's where job analysis helps you. Job analysis identifies the skill gaps. Okay, when HR studies a job carefully, they learn what tasks the job includes and what skills are required to perform them. Then, by comparing these requirements with the employee's current skill, HR can find out what employees already know, what they still need to learn. Okay, so employee what they already know and what organization needs. If it is lacking with the employee, then they provide training to them, right? So training fill the gap between the employee skills and organizational required skills. Example, if job analysis shows that a data entry operator needs Excel and typing skills, but some employees are weak in Excel. Okay, so what does HR do? HR arranges Excel training for them. Okay, so here I told you training and development, right? So what's the difference between training and development? Training means it teaches employees the specific skills or knowledge they need to perform in their current job effectively. Okay, so for complete explanation about training, go through my description box. There you will find the link of part 12 and part 13 of training topic. Right. So coming back to development, it is a process of helping employees to improve for future responsibilities and career growth. Right. So next we have performance appraisal. Job analysis helps HR to actually set standard performance. Okay, that means setting employees' targets, their deadlines, etc. So that once the employee is done with their job, HR can compare easily the actual performance and the standard performance. Okay, so in the previous videos, I've told you about the actual performance and standard performance, right? We have discussed this. So if the job analysis is not done properly, he may not be fully aware of what does the job involves and he cannot set the standards accurately, right? Hope you understand. So if at all how this performance appraisal will be helpful in the job analysis, we can set a standard performance here, right? So if the employee is achieving the standard performance, that's good, right? So the actual performance of the employee should be equal to the standard performance of the organization, what they have set, right? Hope you understand. Next is job evaluation. Job evaluation. What do you mean by this evaluation? We can understand it, right? So once we study a job in detail through job analysis, we get all the information about what the job involves, that is its duties, responsibilities, and required skills. Yes. Now HR can use that information to find out how important or valuable that job is. Okay, so and HR can compare the job with the other jobs. Okay, so in organization we have many jobs, right? So we have many jobs, J1, J2, or J3. We have many jobs, right? So they'll compare one job with the another job in the organization to know the value of that particular job, right? So that process is called job evaluation, right? So once HR understand the worth of the job, he can create a fair and balanced salary structure. Right. So let me take a quick example here. In a school, for suppose, job analysis shows the duty, task, and responsibility of a teacher, lab assistants, and principal. Okay. Now, job evaluation then decides based on those duties and responsibility that the principal, we have three, right? Principal, teacher, lab assistant. Okay. So whose responsibility will be higher here? Principal responsibility will be higher. So once we do job analysis based on the, here we go with performance appraisal. So principal job gets the highest pay, then comes the teacher, and then comes the lab assistants, right? Because the skills, the knowledge, the work is more than uh, principal have more, and then the teacher comes the next, and then the last lab assistants. Okay, so the lab assistants will get somewhat lower pay and the principal gets will the higher pay, right? So to decide this pay, we need to understand job analysis, like how, what skills, responsibilities, duties they need to have. Hope you got it. Yes, this is job evaluation. We understand the worth of the job, value of the job in this job evaluation. Yes, next is job design. What is job design? Once the HR studies the job properly through job analysis, he will get to know the full information about the work, right? What work should be done and how it is done, etc. Yes, yes. So using this information properly, HR can design the job, right? So let me explain you with related example here so that it will be easy to understand. If job analysis shows that a receptionist had too many tasks to be performed, right? Like attending calls, emails, visitor management, scheduling, solving the queries of visitors, etc. Yes, so it will be very burden to handle all this by one person. Right. So here HR may redesign the job by dividing tasks. Like one person handle calls, another handle visitors, so that making their work smoother and less stressful. Yes, hope you understand. Last but not least, which is safety and health. See, every job has some level of risk depending upon the task and the duties, right? For example, a factory worker faces machine related risk, yes, while a lab assistant might deal with chemicals. Yes, if the analysis shows that lab assistant handles acids or chemicals, HR can provide gloves or mask and safety training to them, right? So job analysis helps the organization identify these risks and take safety and health measures for the employees. So with the help of job analysis, he can collect information like where the job is performed, what equipment or machines are used, and what physical or mental efforts are needed. Yes, this all things comes under safety and health. So this is all about uses of job analysis. Hope you understand it clearly. So now let us discuss about the process of job analysis. Okay. So the first step in the process of job analysis is determining the organizational analysis. And second is selection of representative positions to be analyzed. Third, collect job information. Fourth, prepare job description. Fifth, prepare job specification. Sixth, approval and review. So first step is organizational analysis. So in this step, overall organizational structure is being analyzed. Okay. So overall organizational structure is being analyzed. That means how many jobs we have in the organizations and how it is contributing to achieve organizational objectives. The link between the job and the organizational objectives. See, in organizations we have many jobs, right? So how this, for suppose let me take this particular job here, and this is organizational objective. Okay, so how this job is contributing to achieve organizational objectives? What is the link between this job and organizational objective? Okay, you need to analyze it. Yes, so here we find out why we are doing job analysis. What is the main purpose behind collecting this all information by doing job analysis? Okay, so the purpose could be anything, might be for hiring employees or by designing a training program or evaluating job performance or deciding salaries, etc. Right? So before doing any analysis, HR must first be clear about why they need job information. After knowing, they can decide what data to be collected and how to collect it. Yes, this is determining the organizational analysis. Second one is selection of representative positions to be analyzed. Every organizations have many jobs, right? It might be 100 plus jobs. Yes, but we don't study all the 100 plus jobs, right? As it take much time, and also we don't have enough time to study, right? So what they'll do is they will select a few representative jobs or few typical jobs, okay, to analyze it, so which directly impacts the other jobs also, right? It's like taking a sample. Okay, if we talk about research concept, then we don't consider all the population, right? We take a sample of population, we test it or we research it, then which we can analyze it. Okay, that represents the whole population. Yes, we take a sample here. Same way here, we don't analyze all the job in the organization. We select a sample job which represents the other job in the organization. Hope you understand. This is selection of representative position. Okay, take some sample of the same job and do analyze it or do research on that. That directly represents the other job also. Third one is collect job information. This step is very important because here we mostly depend on data, right? What we gather. Just if the data is accurate and proper, then our analysis or our research would be perfect. If the data is not accurate or proper, then it might lead to a wrong assumptions, right? And can cause loss to the organization. So you must be very careful when you collect the job analysis data, right? And make sure that the data is reliable. So what kind of data is collected here? What kind of data? Like what tasks are performed, what duties and responsibility the job includes, what knowledge, skills and abilities are required, and what tools or equipment are used, etc. Right? So basically this step is about gathering facts about the job. You need to gather facts about the job. This is collecting job information or collecting job data. Fourth one is prepare job descriptions. Okay, so we will be discussing more about job descriptions in the next video. and job specification as well. Okay, so when the HR finishes collecting all the job information, that is step 3. Once he finishes collecting the job information, what they'll do with it? Do they just store it? No, right? They organize it into an important document. Okay, what they have been collected in the third step, now they are organizing into an important document that is called job description. Okay, in short, we say it as JD. Okay, so when you apply for a job, then you will find this job description there. Okay, so if possible, I'll show you an example in the next video where we discuss more about this job description. Got it? It's a written statement, nothing but it's a written statement about all the skills required, all the tasks to do and the responsibilities. Okay, next is prepare job specification. So we just learned about job description. What's the job description? What it tells? It tells about what actually job involves. Yes, now job specification tells what kind of person is required to perform this job effectively, right? Which means it is also a kind of written document where it describes about the qualification required to perform the job, their experience level, skills, knowledge, qualities, etc. Yes, so this is also mentioned in the job description document. It is also a written document. Okay, job specification, job description is a written document, important document. Okay, sixth one is approval and review. The final step here is the approval and review. Once the job data is collected and job description and job specifications are prepared, we need to get review and it should get approved by the top management people. Either it may be a supervisor or department head or manager or anybody, then only we can use the document for further purpose. Okay, it also ensures that the job details are correct or not and whether it is up to date or not. Yes, before being used you need to check this. You need to get approval from your top management people. You need to get review, all the things are correct or not. You need to get review and you need to get approval. So this is all about process of job analysis. Hope you guys are clear with this topic. If you found this explanation helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Study with Nandu for more easy HRM and MBA lessons. So comment below what topic you would like me to explain next. So let's wind up this video here and continue in the next part. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this lesson helpful. Thank you so much.